Yeah, even his brother reached out to me last night. Tyler Heineman's from UCLA, and said, "What's he doing? What's gotten into my brother? What's he doing different?" And 3 or 4 texts later, I decided Tyler had enough information and tried to keep that a secret. He's probably trying to break it down for the opposition this weekend. But well, he's getting backspin. He's developed some strength over the off season, and ball we saw right away the ball was coming off his bat different. And Scotty's been battling some health issues. His back wasn't 100% and kind of fighting through that, in and out of the lineup, so to speak, when he was dealing with that. And now I think he's feeling better. And Coach Waz and Coach Oman have been working with the stroke and staying online and essentially getting backspin, squaring the ball up and getting backspin. And none of those were cheapies, but the confines of Cal were a little smaller than PK Park, and we'll take it. Whatever he's doing, I hope he keeps it up for a long period of time.
Were you seeing that though, even from the start? Because when you moved him from catcher to the center, you said you thought you needed his bat in the lineup this year compared to last year's.
Yeah, well, even last year, he started out fairly well for us and then kind of hit a slide, and then the injuries set in with his broken toe, etc. And so we were very high on him last year, and he went through a little freshmanitis, growing pains where he hit a slump, and then it sets in psychologically to you, and he never got to work his way out of it. And then with some strength development over the off season, and when he came in here right in September when we first started, it was obvious to us that he'd really advanced offensively, and he was trying to learn the catching position at the same time. Some of his physical limitations during practice came from the wear and tear of the catching position. So it was apparent to us that he wasn't going to be the starting catcher, might not even been the second string catcher, and it was probably about 2 weeks or 3 weeks before we started the season that we said, hey, this is one of our 9 best guys. Let's play him in center field, see if he can do that. And he took to that pretty well.
Defensively, he's caught on pretty quick.
Yeah, he's made some great plays. He's not our best center fielder. Connor Hoffman is, and we've kind of gone with the defensive play there. And Connor's not driven in a lot of runs, but he certainly saved us some runs. And it's a plus-minus kind of formula. And Scotty's a way above average right fielder, and he can throw guys out, and his instincts are pretty good. And I'm not so sure that's his professional position down the road or even next year with the Ducks. The other thing that he can do is really pitch, and he's kind of like Martyr. He can almost play all 9 spots, learning the catching position. And he's athletic, he's strong, he's got a quick arm. We recruited him originally as a pitcher, and we thought we'd take anything we could get offensively. And kind of like Healy, he's turned out to be a better position player than a pitcher. We haven't asked Scotty to pitch. We daddled around with that a little bit in the fall, but then with the catching, the wear and tear, and his value to the team, and the depth of our other arms, I guess we went away from that. But we were kidding the other day at Cal that he could be maybe the John Olerud candidate next year if he can do all that stuff.
Seems like after the 2 losses at Arizona State, the team's really kind of gotten some momentum here. Did you challenge them after those 2 losses?
Well, I challenged them with the 8-game stretch we just completed yesterday, and even after we came back and salvaged Sunday's victory against Arizona State and then a good Beaver win, I reminded them that we were only 2-2 in that 8-game stretch, and we were 2-2 in April. The tendency is to pay attention to you guys and the attaboys and nice going and look backwards on good things, and then complacency sets in. So I tend to challenge our guys with things like that. Hey, we're only 2-2 in this 8-game, and so my discussion today before practice will be to congratulate them that when you start 0-2 in an 8-game challenge and you finish 6-2, that's pretty good. So now we've got a new segment of our season coming up that'll be significant with a back-to-back great conference opponents and another Portland midweek game. So we'll see, at the end of the next 2 series, if we're still contenders and doing well, that'll be another good accomplishment.
How do you look at this though halfway through? I mean, you talk about 10 or 2-2, but you're 10-2 in the league. Even better than last year's.
I think we're 12-3.
12-3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're halfway, and we're in position. And we all know very well how things can change drastically in a weekend in the pack. Hopefully we won't go through that devastation again, but you better be ready to play each and every week. And you know, to me, it's like leading a marathon race halfway through. You know, it's good to, or you know, a NASCAR guy, you get points for leading laps, but the finish line's so far out in front of us that we got a lot of work to do. So UCLA, last time they came in here, they had their way with us, and I coached two of those athletes, Adam Plutko and David Berg, and they're going really well. So Coach Savage does a great job with his pitching staff. This is a pitching ballpark. We're going to have some challenges this weekend with UCLA.
How nice was it, though, at Cal, you know, for the struggles you've had there in the first couple of years to actually feel that, you know, after the success that you've had at PK Park this year?
It made me feel good. And there's some guys with my organization. Mitch Carricker's working as a manager, and Daryl Hunter's one of the guys that was there in '9 when we first went down to Cal, and it culminated into a complaint session by Coach Horton to the team of how far off we were, the culture and everything else, the work ethic, the details. It was an exaggerated talk, and it happened in a certain part of their field, and I shared that story with this year's club. And then when they accomplished that sweep, we walked right out into that same area, and there happened to be a little divot in the grass, and in the first inning of Sunday's game, a double play ball took a bad hop to JJ Altobelli and bounced over his head, and you could see JJ fixing that spot in the dirt. And so JJ, being a senior and kind of being a lot to do with this culture that we've developed, I asked him, we walked out, I pointed to the divot in the grass, and I said, can you please bury those demons from the '09 Cal Series to how far this program's advanced? And it's not a finish line, but it was significant, and I made it a big deal. And we had the rappelling rope out a little bit on Sunday and hanging on, but we got it done. So I thought it was an important milestone, I think, for our program to finally be able to put ourselves in position to sweep a Pac-12 opponent on the road, and then accomplishing that when Cal was giving us everything they could on Sunday for sure.
What do you attribute the resolve of this team to? Last year you guys were grinding out a lot of wins, late game situations, clutch hitting. It seems like you're doing that a lot this year too.
Yeah, you know, as I share with them, it's like that magical winning formula that you have in that jar that comes with a lot of things, a lot of sacrifices. And sometimes when our guys are guilty of violating the work ethic, I warn them that you open that jar and you might lose something that's extremely valuable. I wish I could define exactly what's going on. I even said to my wife last night, I always preface it with, I hope I don't jinx us. But this team's, their resiliency and their ability to win the fourth quarter in our sport, the 7th, 8th, and 9th, is truly amazing. And there's a lot of things that go into that. Certainly confidence. Even the game within the game yesterday when we played Portland, and I'm not speaking badly about Coach Sperry's group, but when Heineman hit that 3-run home run, it looked like Dodger Stadium in the 7th inning. Their fans were hitting the exits. And we even reflected back on that yesterday in the debrief after the game. I said to Darryl and I said to Mitch Carricker, you remember the day when that used to happen here? And it really made us mad, me mad, because I never had that where I came from. Because our fans, parents, and everybody else wouldn't leave until the last out because they'd been accustomed to many comebacks. Or maybe we didn't always come back and win, but we always put ourselves, not always, frequently we put ourselves in position to win. And I discussed that with that group of athletes. I said that we have to earn that. You know, we have to show our fans that we're worthy of coming back or winning late to keep them in the stands until the last out's recorded and the last nails in the coffin, so to speak. And so I shared that with Darryl and with Mitch, and at the same time sending that message to my team, a tip of my cap to them, that I, again, prefacing it with I hope I don't jinx us. We've been doing it against really good teams, and our guys, no matter how we get there, when it's the 7th inning, if we're in the game, we believe we're going to win. We have some opponents coming in that think the same way, so it'll be the ultimate challenge. But And again, going back to my wife Francie, I said that, just scratching my head, it's just amazing. Jimmy, Clevenger, Darryl yesterday, Christian Jones have a lot to do with making it easy on for the offense to find a way to win those games. And of course, our real strength to our team, that I keep saying, our defense. It's just amazing.
UCLA going to be a little like you then with their pitching? I think they're touting their defense being second only to you in the league.
Yeah, and a little different objective there. They're not on turf, and we are. And Southern California fields play fast and hard. And not that UCLA doesn't have a tremendous facility, but yeah, they can run some great arms out at you. And I think Berg and Sherfy are as good as it gets. Berg had a nice little tune-up last night of 4 innings in relief, and he could probably throw another 4 innings again today. That's kind of his arm resiliency is amazing. And he's a great kid. I had the pleasure of being around him and Adam Plutko on Team USA, and he's the real deal. Here's a kid that walked on and UCLA, a sidearm guy that's just, we call him the Ginsu, and that's out of respect. The Ginsu knife, because he cuts everybody up. That's what we think. And certainly Jimmy's as good as Berg is. And so we both feel good about the end of the game, and their starting pitching's awfully good as well.
It seems like you guys have switched your pitching rotations a little bit. Do you know who's going to start on Friday?
Yeah, we're going to go with our same rotation as last week. Thorpe on Friday, Irvin on Saturday, and Reed on Sunday.
Can you talk about the reasoning behind that decision a little bit?
Well, Jake knows it, and he wasn't that Friday guy that needs to match up with the Plutkos and Appels and other Friday guys in the pack if you're going to try to get Friday done. He's been a guy that's had a hiccup somewhere along the line, as good as his stuff is, for a 3 or a 4 or a 2 followed by a 1, and sometimes that, when you give up 4 or 5 on Friday, it's hard to win. So he got demoted, and we were headed in the direction of moving Cole Irvin, who'd been our most consistent guy, up to be the Friday guy. So the plan initially was, let's move them up, Tommy and Cole, one day, not 2. And then this week, move Cole up to Friday and Tommy Saturday and Jake on Sunday, or Jake in the middle of the 2 left-handers. But quite honestly, Tommy kind of outpitched Cole. Cole didn't have his best outing. So the old adage is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we swept last week, and we're going to go with the same this week.
Going forward, is there any thought to, in the future, putting Cole in the Friday spot?
Yeah, if there's clear separation between who our best guy is, and that might be more clear after this weekend, then maybe Cole will start on Friday against Stanford. And whether we insert Jake into the middle of that, we'll just kind of play it week by week.
Is this kind of to see if Jake can kind of get his legs under him and then maybe move him back, or do you think
this isn't necessarily for the rest of the year. This is each and every week, what's best for their health and short rest and different things like that, and ultimately what's best for us to be the most successful for our conference race. So sometimes you take feelings inside. The thing about Reed is he's very competitive by nature, and he was going to try really hard last weekend anyway because he didn't have his best outing. So the fact that he got demoted, if that's the way he thinks, I don't think he was going to try any harder. So sometimes as a coach, you worry about their confidence a little bit. In Jake's case, you do worry about the young man and his confidence, but I think he's very responsive to challenges, and so it didn't bother me that much. It might, if I didn't have that kind of confidence in him, I might be more worried to his sensitivity to that.
Thanks, Coach.